All right, so welcome to the virtual college exploration for all Pennsylvania students, sponsored by the Pennsylvania Association for College Admissions Counseling and StriveScan. So PACAC is a nonprofit association comprised of more than 1,200 school counselors, college admissions counselors, independent education consultants, and other professionals responsible for guiding students through the important transition from high school to post-secondary options. Thank you for joining us. So a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. I see we're starting to trickle in here. So you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at pacac.org. And then this presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at that same website, pacac.org. So now I'm going to be turning it over to our presenter, Jesse, over at Dickinson College.
Great, thank you very much. And so to get us started here, I'll start sharing my screen, but I just have a very quick video that might be interesting to you all as a quick introduction. Great. Well, again, good afternoon and welcome to the Dickinson College Virtual Information Session. My name is Jesse McDonald. I'm an Associate Director of Admissions here at Dickinson, and I'm glad to have you all with me this afternoon. Before I get started, as mentioned before by our PACAC facilitator, I want to point you to the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen where you'll be able to submit questions. I'm going to reserve maybe the last 5 to 10 minutes for questions, so I'm just going to ask that you hold on to them until that point. So after this session, if you'd like to connect with your regional counselor, you can use this QR code that will take you to our regional counselor page. Regional counselors are assigned by the location of your school and not your home address. So hopefully that'll help you locate them a little bit quicker. But I'll leave it up here for about a second or so. That way, those of you who want to scan it or take a screenshot to use later, you can. So I'll just hang tight for half a second here for you if you need. So I know this is a really critical time for you all as you're diving into the college search process and really trying to weed through all the information that's in front of you. So much of the college search process is getting to experience the campus, the atmosphere, and the environment. But unfortunately, right, this year is not looking like that will be a possibility for a lot of places. So with that in mind, I really hope to give you some key takeaways and information which will help give you a sense of Dickinson. For those of you who have not been to campus, Dickinson is located in South Central Pennsylvania, in the heart of Carlisle, a small town of about 30,000 residents. And as you can see from the map, our proximity to major East Coast cities is really a great asset for us, as we are within about 2 hours from Baltimore, DC, and Philly, and about 3.5 hours from New York City. It really provides accessibility for our students when that's needed. One of the greatest benefits we have here at Dickinson is our relationship with Carlisle. And what makes it so unique and very strong is that Dickinson was only chartered about 30 years after the founding of Carlisle in 1751. So really this means we've been growing together as partners for the last 237 years. And I'll start with just a very brief history of Dickinson so you can get a sense of our founding principles and how those are reflected in the college today. Dickinson is the 16th oldest college in the nation, but was the first official school formed in the United States, as we received our charter only 6 days after the Treaty of Paris officially recognizing us as the United States. And so that revolutionary period was quite unique and indicative of the revolutionary education that Dickinson really aimed to deliver. And it all started really with our founder, Benjamin Rush. And Benjamin Rush, for those of you who aren't familiar, was a founding father of the United States. He's considered to be the father of American psychiatry, was our first Surgeon General, and a strong proponent of equal education. Because of his values, he set out to create an institution that educated its citizens not only to support the new nation, but also to understand the role they play as civic leaders. So to create an education to meet those goals, Benjamin Rush developed a globally focused liberal arts institution that is always looking forward. Those key elements have followed through to today, where we are able to produce engaged students who, through their 4 years, leave Dickinson future focused and having received a useful education for the common good. So this image of a sunrise over our first building on campus, Old West, though a beautiful photo, I believe is a really great visual metaphor to how Dickinson is always looking toward the future and making change, not wishing what could have been, which is exactly what students really need in today's environment. And so this is a snapshot of what the college looks like today, with 2,300 students, and an average of 8-to-1 student to faculty ratio. And with wide and dynamic programs, we are committed to making a customizable education for all of our students. We have small class sizes that allow the direct interaction with faculty as well as your peers, allowing you to delve deeper into your passions as a member of a collaborative community. Our students are working with professors who are experts in their field, with 95% of them achieving the terminal degree for their area of focus, and their commitment is solely to our students. It's an incredible value in today's world of higher education. Of course, a global education has been a priority of Dickinson, and therefore we remain at the leading edge of global education among institutions in the United States. Our dedication to global education is seen in many ways throughout Dickinson. Our curriculum aligns with global perspectives and ideals for students to better understand how the content they study is connected throughout the world. One of our biggest assets for this global education is our faculty, many of whom have experiences in studying or working and or living abroad, and they are able to bring their experiences into the classroom to give a firsthand account to connect the content that they're teaching to a global perspective. In addition to our faculty, we create a diverse student body, which brings added perspectives to campus. So while Dickinson is in a small community, we are fortunate to have a student body that is reflective of the diverse world that we all live in. So approximately 14% of our student body are international students coming from 52 different countries, and approximately 80% of our students are from outside the state of Pennsylvania. They're coming from 40 different countries, states. And added to that, over 20% of our student body consists of domestic students of color. Through this makeup, students can be educated about the world around them through their peers. And it's really quite amazing, considering we're a small community in central Pennsylvania. As a part of our commitment to global education, students are required to take a language, with 13 languages offered. In that vein, students also have the option to study abroad. And as a key focus, we find many of our students participating in these global programs. Dickinson has invested many resources into creating wide-reaching programs, 18 of which are Dickinson specific. In these locations, you'll actually find a Dickinson faculty or staff member who are able to provide the same support students would find on campus in Carlisle, and a real key element that is very difficult to find elsewhere. Beyond Dickinson's 18 programs, we've also partnered with other organizations to provide over 50 study abroad options in 24 countries. Because we know the importance of a study abroad experience, Dickinson tries to make it accessible for all of our students. And so in that way, we keep tuition the same, allowing financial aid and merit scholarships to follow students. And we work with students a full semester before going abroad so that they are well prepared for those transitions and really supporting students. And while the national average of students who study abroad in the nation is right around 10%, Dickinson consistently sends around 65% of its students abroad, including science majors as well as athletes. And we are consistently ranked in the top 10 in the nation for long-term study abroad. And we are a two-time award winner for the Senator Paul Simon Award for Campus Internationalization. And in fact, we're the only institution in the nation to be awarded that award twice. So for that reason, we truly are a standout for students who want to incorporate a study abroad experience during their college years. And as I mentioned before, Dickinson is a future-focused institution, which is reflected in community, curriculum, and student preparation. A part of that sustainability has become an important focus today as we look forward. This is not new for us. We have been doing this for nearly 40 years, which really allows us to remain at the leading edge of sustainability education. This dedication has made us one of the top institutions in the nation for sustainability. And it began back in 1980, and it was due to global concerns of the time. Dickinson then saw the value in educating its students in sustainability and integrating it throughout Dickinson. You'll see it not just in the curriculum, but also in the programming and activities as well that students are always open to participate in. The goal is really to help students understand their impacts on an ever-changing world, whether it's culturally, ecologically, economically, and to be forward-thinking with that knowledge. Excuse me, I went backwards there. And now this is just a selection of offerings that really show how sustainability is integrated to the student experience and curriculum. As you can see, it is incorporated through a majority of our courses. And the amazing part is that this is really just a sampling of courses that were offered this past spring. So again, clearly showing the importance of sustainability as it ties to all content areas. This blend of global and sustainable education allows students to get a fuller understanding of not just how sustainability relates to themselves, but to the industries they will work in and the communities that they will become a part of. And so Dickinson doesn't just teach about sustainability. We also practice it too. We have achieved many awards through our initiatives that we've created over the years, and this past April became one of the first colleges in the country to become carbon neutral. And of course, one of the marquee spaces that has helped us get there and is a quite unique piece to Dickinson is our college farm. Our farm acts as a living classroom, as a community gathering space, and is an example to students as well as local residents. Here we produce food not just for the Dickinson Dining Hall, but for our local food bank and community share program. And they do all of this while being 100% organic. It truly is a unique learning opportunity and experience for our students. Additionally, we have 6 LEED Gold certified buildings, as well as 1 Platinum LEED certified building that really shows our commitment to sustainability through infrastructure and ultimately offering green spaces for our students to study and relax in. Dickinson also has several green initiatives to help supplement the sustainable education here. For example, we have a bike share program. We have our Alliance for Aquatic Resource Monitoring programs and organizations like EcoReps and EcoLeague. We are partnering with the Borough of Carlisle, as well as Cumberland County, which Dickinson resides in, to help create climate action plans for them. And those are just a very select few that I'm pointing out, but the list goes on and on. But of course, Dickinson cares about a well-rounded educational experience and therefore offers a wide variety of extracurricular activities for students to enrich their lives beyond the classroom. from academic-based clubs to varsity athletics, performing arts, community service, leadership groups, and outing clubs. Dickinson really has something for everyone. And if it's not here already, you can certainly start it. Our students are actively delving deeper into their passions and exploring new ones. It's actually hard, and I've said this on numerous occasions, that it's hard to find a student not involved in 3 or more activities. And so it is certainly an active environment here, and students are always engaged in various activities, and there's never a dull moment. But of course, these components of Dickinson, a global perspective and education, sustainability awareness and understanding, civic leadership, extracurricular involvement, these all culminate to create an engaged student, and those experiences tie directly to our Center for Advising, Internships, and Lifelong Career Development. The Center for Advising, Internships, and Lifelong Career Development, along with faculty, work diligently with students even before they set foot on campus to help guide them to a successful career path. Our center is a one-of-a-kind office in the nation. And while many institutions have advisors, what makes Dickinson unique is that here, our advisors across different offices all work together, meaning students have a whole team of support. Students get individual attention throughout all 4 years to help find where their true passions lie and to gain experience that will help them navigate their path to a career by taking them step by step to define, discover, and accomplish their future goals. Every student on our campus can expect the center to help them in choosing their classes and major, finding externships and internships, creating professional connections, preparing for interviews, and eventually placing them where they want to be by the time they graduate or after they graduate. This center ensures our students are always supported and never alone. But one of the greatest aspects of the center is that they are helping develop professional skill sets so that even after graduation, students have the ability and know-how to support themselves as their jobs and careers change. And so as you continue searching for the right college for you, remember that the right education can develop future-proof skills that set you up for success. Dickinson truly believes that through a global and practical education, students become forward thinkers and future-ready citizens. And we are proud of what our Dickinson education has been able to do for our alum. And you can see its influence in many of the leading organizations and companies and businesses around the world. Dickinson shows great success post-graduation as 98% of our students are employed, completing an internship, attending graduate school, or pursuing a fellowship within 1 year after graduation. We truly feel that the approach that Dickinson takes sets up students for success. And so to that end, Dickinson is dedicated to creating a strong, diverse, motivated, and dynamic student body. And so in that way, we assess students through a holistic approach. And by that, we review all aspects of a student's application and finding the strengths that will positively impact our community. We have long since been a test optional school for 26 years, to be exact. And due to the struggles facing high school students this year, we are now going to assess our applications as test blind for the 2020-2021 academic year. Additionally, to make sure we build the strongest classes possible, we're also dedicated to financially supporting our students by meeting 100% of demonstrated need and offering merit scholarships ranging from $15,000 to $35,000 a year. And for every student who applies to Dickinson, they are considered for our 15, 20, 25, and 30,000 a year. And then through an application-based system, they can be considered for the $35,000 scholarship a year. So at this point, I'm really happy to answer any questions that you all may have. but feel free to post them in that Q&A box. However, in the meantime, I've included a few QR codes that you may find helpful, pointing you to the virtual visit options that we have available that range from just typical information sessions to pre-recorded sessions to academic sessions, virtual interviews, and a virtual tour. We also have a pre-application as well. So for students who are seniors this year and are planning to apply to Dickinson, this pre-application allows us to gather some early information, but also by filling it out and submitting it, it also provides you a fee waiver for the common application as well. And then additionally, I have a Life at Dickinson just to kind of give some inside points that you might be wondering about as you're continuing your college search process. So I am going to stop sharing for the moment, and I will pull up the Q&A for any questions that might be here. And if there are none, that is okay too. And I will be certainly happy to take questions offline after this session. As I mentioned at the very beginning with that QR code, you can certainly reach out to your regional counselor with any questions you have. But as a counselor for parts of Pennsylvania, you may find that I am your regional counselor, and so I'd be happy to answer those questions as well. I'm not currently seeing any questions popping up in the Q&A section, but I will certainly give it a few moments just in case. I will keep this box up, but I will also, again, share my screen so that you can see those QR pieces in case you want to continue searching those. So I will give it a few moments, and if no questions come in, you are free to enjoy the rest of your afternoon. So it does not look like we have any questions coming in, and that is quite all right. And I see our facilitator is taking control of the screen again, so I will turn it back to her. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, so thank you for joining us. So when you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. So we'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. And then again, this is just one of many sessions right now being hosted by PACAC. So make sure you go to pacac.org to see if there's any more. And then in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all the other recordings again at pacac.org. Thanks so much. Bye.